Check this.
Hey guys, welcome back to Chaotic Strategies. Hey, first off, before we get going into this video, let me just say happy National Dinosaur Day. This year in 2020, we're celebrating on May 15th and June 1st, National Dinosaur Day. This is a great holiday. My boys absolutely into dinosaurs. They love dinosaurs, everything about them. So I thought in today's spirit of the dinosaur holiday, I'm going to showcase and review the game Evolution: The Beginning for you guys. So if you know anything about Evolution, the board game series is by North Star Games, and it's massive. This game is huge. They have a lot of expansions to it. Evolution is the base, and then you can expand from there. I do not have that, but I'm highly looking into getting it. Very amazing. So Evolution: The Beginning came out in 2016, again by North Star Games, and this takes a lot from Evolution. They pulled a lot of traits and aspects from Evolution, but it's a standalone game. This one does not tie into Evolution at all. Evolution does not tie into this game at all. This game is for ages 8 and up, and it's got 2 to 5 players in it. And surprisingly, for coming out 4 years ago, this game has held its value. I was looking at some prices. I mean, eBay, used, you're going to find it for 20 bucks, in some cases 30 bucks. I've seen it at Walmart for $54, Amazon, seen it going for $40. So this game has held its value very, very well. We were lucky enough, my son got this game for a holiday, and tonight was actually the first night that we played this game. So I completely forgot about it till I was kind of looking through the games. I knew we had a themed game that kind of went along the lines of dinosaurs, and found that, and we all decided that we were going to play it, and we did, and we had a blast playing it. This game was a lot of fun. So let me take you over to the table, show you how this game kind of lays out, explain very briefly the rules. It's very detailed, so I'm just going to give you a quick brief explanation of it. If you guys want to see deeper aspects of the rules or anything, by all means let me know, and I will either put it in a comment or I'll make a separate video for these rules. Other than that, I highly recommend getting this game. I mean, if you got boys, girls, it doesn't matter. If you got kids that love dinosaurs, this is the game to get. Or if animals in general, I mean, you get to be a species, you add traits to those species to either attack or hide or whatever. This game's just a lot of fun. So let me take you over to the table. We'll break down this game, give you, a strategy or two. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright everyone, so this is kind of what Evolution: The Beginning looks like once you kind of have it all set up. You have your excess food pile here, your watering hole, deck of cards, and I kind of have some mock-up cards there just to kind of give you an idea what it looks like once you have traits and stuff stacked onto your cards, which I'll get to here in just a second. So, the way that the rules state is whoever woke up first the day that you decide to play this game, that's who's going to go first. Turn goes clockwise around the table. On your first turn, what you're going to do, you're going to throw 2 chips into the watering hole. Then you're going to set a card face down. That's your new species, and then you draw 3 cards. Out of those 3 cards, then we move into the adapt step. So out of those 3 cards, you choose whether you want to add to the population, so you can add more to your species population. Just remember, you don't want to get too carried away because you still have to feed that population. Then you can go through and start putting traits onto that species card. Kind of like what I have up here. On some of these cards I have the carnivore trait, flight trait, burrowing, nocturnal, fatty tissue. So you're going to have some that are defensive traits like flight and burrowing. So if somebody is a carnivore and you are an herbivore, let's say, and you have flight but the carnivore does not, the carnivore cannot attack you unless they have flight also. So any defensive cards that you have on your species, the carnivore cannot attack you unless they have those same traits on their carnivore card. And then there's going to be some other ones that allow you to pull more food from the excess pile, and so on and so forth. Or you're going to take 2 food to put onto your population cards. They kind of change the rules depending on what kind of a card that you, or what kind of trait card that you have added to your species. Or you can choose, if you don't want to, you can choose to hang on to some cards and wait till your next turn, so you always have options on your next turn. So the third step, you have a 4-step process. On your third step, now it's time to eat. So if you have an herbivore, you don't have a carnivore, your herbivores eat directly from the watering hole. So unless you have a trait that specifically says, if you have, like, let's say here I have 3 population cards, then I need to be able to take 3 food from the watering hole. If I can't feed all the cards in my population, then whatever's left die off and they go into the discard pile. So since I only have 2, I can only feed 2 of my population cards. 1 dies, goes to the discard pile face up. If you're a carnivore, you cannot eat food from the watering hole. You have to attack. So you have to find either somebody that has traits that you have or doesn't have any traits, so you can attack them. If you attack them, they lose a population, and then you take 2 food chips from the excess food pile to feed your population. If they only have 1 card and you eat that card, then that species is now extinct. They have no other cards till their next turn. So the other issue that you can run into too is not having enough food in the watering hole. If you grow your population too quickly and you can't feed your population, like I said earlier, you're going to starve off your population. Once you're done with the feeding step or the eating step, we go into step 4, which is the score. So whatever food chips that you have on your cards, you get to place them in this handy little food sack there, and you keep those till the end of the turn. And this process repeats for however many players you got, between 2 to 5 players. And with the 5 players, it gets kind of stretched out pretty thin, but with 2 players, it can get pretty strategic. It kind of goes back and forth. So I've seen and heard what I've seen online with people playing this game, and some of them get kind of confused with your starting card, how this works. This face down card that you first get, just treat it as a blank slate. That is, it's no, set species, anything like that. It becomes whatever you want it to by putting the traits on the card. And really that's it. It's pretty straightforward. Once you get to, so you have a few different things that varies on how the game ends. A, you run out of food chips. If you run out of food chips, then everybody starts starving off. The way that the rules say the game ends is once you've gone completely through the deck, you take the discard pile, shuffle it, flip it over, and then the person to the right of the player who started the game, once they end their turn, that's done. That means everybody's had an equal amount of turns. Then what everybody does is you tally up how many food chips that you have in your food bag, and if you have any extra food chips on your cards, and then you tally up how many cards you have on the table and in your hand. Each of those count as 1 point. Then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins the game. This is just a very, it's really simple. From what I've seen, the instructions are kind of, they kind of overcomplicated the game once you get it broken down. So a couple strategies that I think would work. Like I said, I've only played the game once, and that was today. But from what I gather, you don't really want to jump into being a carnivore right off the bat. And let everybody else kind of just sit back and kind of watch a little bit. Build your population up the best that you can, and watch what other traits are being thrown out onto the table. From what I found, I'd like to keep 1 carnivore species and I like to keep 1 herbivore species. So that way I'm pulling both from the watering hole and from the extra food source there. So that way I'm pulling from both, and I'm able to consistently attack my opponents and still draw from the watering hole depending on what's going on. For me, what I found out is the more that you can get into the watering hole, the better off you're going to be. So every person's turn, when they take their turn, they have to throw 2 food chips into the watering hole before they can draw a card. Also, keeping a smaller population for as long as you can does benefit, because after a while, especially if you're playing with a full table of 5, your food source is going to start going pretty quick. And if you have too much of a population, even though they count towards your end score, you can really start starving yourself off. And if you can't feed them, they die and they go into your discard pile. So it's better to stock up on the food chips, because you can't lose the food chips. And now there are some traits in there that allow you to pull more food chips than what the rules state. And with that, that's Evolution the beginning, guys. It's really not that difficult. It's a pretty fun game, and I know I'm missing kind of some more of the rules and stuff that are in there, but it's really in depth and goes into detail. And you know, we'd end up being here for a half hour, 45 minutes going into the full in-depth of this game. But for the most part, it's very straightforward. It's very simple once you get the hang of it. And I mean, the kids and I played for quite a while tonight. It was just, we had a lot of fun with it. I think this is kind of a new family favorite for right now, and I think I'm actually going to end up ordering a lot more of the Evolution board game series, so that way I can see how that plays in some of their expansions. I'm really excited to look into that and see how that game is going to play out. So that's it for Evolution the Beginning. Alrighty guys, and that's my video on Evolution the Beginning, kind of our themed game, even though there's really not a whole lot of dinosaurs in it, but themed game for National Dinosaur Day. If you guys liked the video, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, make sure to hit that notification bell so you guys are always notified when I'm posting videos and stay up to date on current gaming events. We are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Discord. All those links are up in the banner on my page. I hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe. Wash your hands. We'll see you in next week's video.